top lane bruiser that can actually deal with tanks to do the true damage of Precision Protocol. And the 1-3-1 of T1 is disgusting, frankly. There is so much setup available. There is Paranoia, there is Shove on bot side, there is Rise in the mid lane, and there is a Camille, and if any of those members get fed, playing around them becomes so incredibly easy. But Gen G, they've won unwinnable games with very similar drafts.
And it really just is about how well Gen G can survive to get to a point where these items come online, the ornaments come online. I think this might even be a Crown of the Shatter Queen game here for Chovy, because he needs to be able to side lane, he needs to be able to farm those items up with a Nocturne Camille.
Go on to the Rift for game number 1. I didn't even realize how perfect that song is, by the way, the lyrics. I win every time.
Every time.
It certainly tells a story, as a lot of our production has been doing so very well so far for this series.
They did win every time, yeah. They're undefeated as of right now. So,
It's fairly fragile as well.
Okay, fighting over level 2, the flash forward as Karia's going for it with the Q of his own. That's going to be a trade. His first blood is given over to the Ezreal. Gumayusi able to trade one back as our supports.
He might get caught off guard here as he goes to ward.
Well, that's not the brush you wanted to check here, as Faker just going to die. Had Novitz in there, they had a war. Not winning a lot of games against anyone. But either way, as Karia's going to flash in for the poke, and the trap not quite enough to land onto Lahens there, and he will get out of there alive as a huge True Shot barrage hits both of them.
I really appreciate the idea right before Herald.
That even.
This is really tough. They have 2 global ultimates to use to close the gap here. No flash for Keria, no mid prio.
Yeah, they already have this pretty low as we stand, and they're going up against an Ornn. Let's see if T1 can do anything, as the Ornn will come through, as a big knock-up now from Dorn on the top side, but you can see the rest of Gen G.
Composition still isn't quite online yet to hold on to that Rift Herald so tightly.
Deus is really playing with fire, but actually a good calculation knows that he should be relatively safe, although will he calculate that Peanut is up here to help out?
CT1, they're not able to actually know if that ultimate lands. Can we follow up? Because of that, T1 get the early fight win there, and Guma, even with that first blood going over to Ruler, is getting more and more fed now.
A lot of Paranoia users, a lot of Nocturnes would actually go onto the backline carries there, but that's what Gen G was hoping for in that choke point. Oh, they're going to dive deep, and nope, they just go onto Doran, collapse him, cut the team in half, and really hard to communicate in situations like this. That's the part of the power of Paranoia. It's not just shutting down side lanes and getting on top of the backline. It's just
expecting Zeus to have an edge in the matchup, and yes, it was a blind Ornn from Doran.
He's going in for this one. I don't think he's got a queue up in time to really chunk it down. So that's Hextech Ultimatum gone right before some teleports are up, but of course 3 minutes or so until the Unleashed teleport is available.
Critically, if Gen G get a 2 Drake advantage with this composition, they could just sit back and wait. It's going to give them such a huge edge, especially because it's going to be a critical Drake, either Mountain, Hextech, or Infernal here. So very important for T1 to actually deny this fight right now. Then Zeus, of course, teleport coming online just now, but it's leashed, so it won't be able to actually come in at the last possible second. It doesn't have ultimates. This is essentially a 4v4.
And with the vision being taken by T1 in the river and Prio in bot side, Faken also getting in a mid, it's really hard for Gen G to actually contest this. They have to walk into the poke of Guma, of Keria, and if they slightly overextend, immediately Owner will pull the trigger, Faker can realm warp in, so if T1 won it, they could keep that hold tight. But it looks like instead they're gonna choose to give this one up, and I can see the logic behind it.
Not enough prio.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they also instead
to try to highlight this top side, as here comes the Paranoia. It's 3-on-1, and Doran does not have any hope, as Faker will eat a lot of those turret shots, as will Owner, but the kill is still there.
It's a faster Ornhorn. Maybe you turn this one around.
He gets to play.
Hextech Ultimatum is available now, and Peanut, you're not going to be able to ult out of this one. Don't believe that Karma will help either against this much lockdown. We just saw these 3 in the top side, and they do it again to the Bear.
Lots of greed here.
About what happens as soon as these turrets start to fall. When the map starts to open up, that's where I get more worried.
Who's diving who now as Zeus went a bit far, thinking he had Owner on the backup of the gank as Flash comes in and Chovy will take down the Camille.
Bloody game here in game number 1 of this series as T1 are going to try to damage this mid turret but won't be able to get any permanent damage. I say that. It's a cannon wave.
That's going to be first turret blood over to the side of Ruler. Solo down in the bottom side.
To go into what is going to be a monstrously fed Victor with Gathering Storm. And in the late game for T1, the margins becomes less and less. And unless they're able to utilize Gumayusi very well and crucially pick up this Drake, T1 is looking kind of rough here in game number 1 because Sword Point with Infernal against Gen G's composition, that's not great.
That's what I was going back to earlier when we were talking about them leaving the Drake up because it was going to be a relevant one no matter what with Ocean Cloud Stark here. As it's spawning now, Gen G do not have to fight this, but they've got a little bit of control over the bottom side.
Yeah, and given their current position, they are clearing out all this vision. They absolutely could decide to go for it. Peanut leading the charge on this, and Faker just now teleporting. Note the flank coming in from the side of T1. They've got a Camille and a Rise behind him.
And has to be so careful. They're grouping up to check.
Okay, they see Zeus and they're looking for the turn to flash in onto Faker, and he will be rooted down and taken down as well. But T1 say that's okay, we'll take the Drake. Zeus though also going to be taken down here, so Gen G pick up a couple of kills, but T1 do get the Drake.
This is the affording that you have when you have a 2 Drake lead. You don't actually need to win the Drake, but if you win the fight, you get the gold, which is more valuable because all time.
That is important to still keep in mind is that this comp punishes overextension.
Here we go. This is the side lane play that we expect, and Stopwatch is good, but it ain't that good. That's going to be the kill given over to Gumayusi.
As I finish my sentence, T1's comp is still incredibly good at punishing mispositions from anyone. Between Zeus, Owner, and Faker.
It's really true, and I think T1 are going to show a lot more of that, you know, regardless of the current state of the game or the compositions, they will be looking for plays, and they might just get Peanut here, as he will have to ult away just to survive. And with the Drake coming up here in a minute, will he have that ready? I'm not so sure, as now T1 have position.
Yeah. In anticipation of this fight, which again, whoever wins this has a really good position from here on out.
Oh, the flash, but that is going to be Ruler with the quick cleanse, as he does have to use that though before this goes off. And now Carrier with no flash for his own engages. Gen G, stalwart here in the river, trying to put up a wall and avoid it. Zeus goes over the wall, just leading the charge, ready to fight.
Choke point control, but Chovy wasn't here, so he can't actually get that death ray damage through. T1 will actually spill into the other side. Now they've got to be wary of the Zeus flank once again.
All right, setting up another kind of wall here. We got traps coming out from Gumayusi, and you do not want to get headshot by this Caitlyn right now. As Zeus over the wall, they're looking for Chovy. He doesn't have his stopwatch anymore, but the damage from the backside of Gen G is gigantic. They're able to take down both of the divers on the side of T1, but that is going to be the Dragon going the way of T1. So a crazy fight, but T1 get another Infernal. On the backside here, they want to take a fight as immediately a headshot from Guma. That's going to be 1 kill. Gen G get the Baron, but they get nothing else. As T1 are on the chase, Faker leading the charge. He's going to get that bounce onto both of them, and at least Chovy will go down as they are looking for more. A triple kill now for Guma, and that is going to be the ace into the hands of T1.
Gen G, this first game have been both extremely survives at the end of this scene.
Faker has learned in his many years of Rise, has had some really good Realm Orbs and some not so good ones. So that one definitely goes into one of the really good ones. Do have to agree. Because if you Realm Orb right on top of them there, you probably just all die anyway. So just a really nice response from T1. They knew immediately that was going to happen, and they get there just on time.
Also note itemization from both Zeus and Owner. Their job is just to create space for Guma. That
is their composition has no pick, no lockdown really whatsoever. They could defensively, of course, Ornhorn. There's the Volley Bear, but he's not going to, at this stage of the game, be able to survive long enough to actually get on top of this Caitlyn. So Gumayusi is basically immortal in these fights if the front line does its job, if the lights are turned off. And so he's become so out of control now that Gen G can't just go, well, we pick the Caitlyn, we win the fight. You're going to have to somehow still win this front to back with all those extra threats. So positioning becomes so key. vision setup, which they have not had control of this entire game, even when they had leads, is just such a big problem, is you're never able to even sideline. Look at where Chobi's got the wave.
That actually blocked all the damage. That was kind of insane. Karma, you know, she does some cool things. But yeah, I think it's a really good point. You know, we always talk about, you know, how Volibear is one of those quote-unquote tanks, not necessarily having a lot of those tank steroids, and even Divine Thunder as well to start off, so he's not even full tank. So, you know, he's not jumping in. He'll be looking to defensively peel, and maybe if the fight is going their way, he can do something.
Look at the trap placement and even the E coming out from Carrier. They're like, you're not coming in here. You're not contesting vision. You are not going to have cryo. They denied any sort of idea.
That is
They're running!
Incredibly fast bear. I don't know what that guy's on, but Zeus is not getting away as, okay, he's trading back actually. Trying to get the kill onto Lahan, sent the flash, but not quite enough.
And T1 start the Drake fast enough now that this pick actually is committed to, because Genji are on the wrong side of the map here. Drake spawns right now, and they've got fast track to it. Genji need to sprint over here.
Teleports available. 2 of them, but
Okay.
coming down.
They are going for
Faker are
this.
joining. I don't think they can get here.
Yeah, they're not going to get here on time, but
Peanut!
Peanut's here on time. Peanut, can he steal it? No, he cannot, but he does have a stopwatch trying to turn this one around. Keria takes so much of the aggro here. The Chaos Storm, the Ornhorn, and he's still alive. There's the one Guardian Angel going down. And Guma, he's still alive. Look at how much damage he does at this point in time. The chunking is unbelievable. That's going to be the end of Ruler and the end of Gen V on this fight.
See the space bought by those Guardian Angels. Zeus, he was just the bait, and he actually was. The entirety of T1 is ready. 3 Infernal Drakes, but I don't think we're going to see the soul in this one.
I don't think so. T1 are marching down the red carpet to victory here. Nods on the side of the T1 players as they call the push to end. T1 so decisive on the punish plays this game. You give them an inch, they will take a mile. They were so far behind in the early part of the mid-game, but they turned this one around so fast.
Unbelievable. T1 just like that. Doesn't matter what the game state is, as Zeus decides, hey, here's a kill. But we will get the kill on Tier Nexus and take game number